Well, how's everybody doing? Well, big surprise. Transmission's out of this thing. Sorry about my voice. I'm a little bit hoarse. I don't know why. All that, like, talking really loud at the racetrack, I guess, or something. I don't know. It might be the crappy Indiana weather. But 4L60E is out. That took 30 minutes with a buddy of mine helping me. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate that. So we got that transmission out. That's what's going in there. Can you see the difference here? Okay, that was a little shorter, but it's way lighter, and that one will shift. So that dipstick came out of this one, will not work in that one. I've thought about cutting it and modifying it and bending it and doing stuff to make it work, and I realized that that's just not going to happen. I'm going to go just buy one because I'm getting irritated. So drive shaft fits in the end of the transmission, so that's a plus. The splines are the same. That drive shaft, the yoke of it was all the way up, you know, the spline was all the way up into that shaft, pretty much, into the transmission as far as it would go. You can kind of see there, it was in there pretty far, and then this was fully compressed. You can see the dirt line right there. So I'm thinking I could get 1.5 inches out of this, pull that out 1.5 inches, move the carrier bearing forward 1.5 inches, then have 1.5 inches less sticking in the transmission. I don't really want to do that. I feel better if I had like that whole thing sticking in the transmission. I don't know how much spline is actually in there and what's going on, and that don't want to come apart. No idea why. It's like something's holding it together. That's the factory drive shaft that I've been running, factory U-joints that actually still had the metal piece that goes across the back side here. I had broke that when I took it apart one day. I don't know how that happened. It was stuck in the axle housing, I do believe. But anyway, that's all still factory garbage, and I haven't broke it yet. Can you guys believe that? But anyway, I'm hoping to make up the difference. And see, that engine's been moved back a couple inches anyway. So also, it's got an unknown stall converter, which, from what I'm gathering, is probably a 4500 or a 5000. You can pick that thing up and shake it and hear and feel and watch the impeller moving around in it. It's a really loose converter. That one has got just a tiny bit of play in it, and the stock one don't have any. So it's gonna be funny. But anyway, we're putting that in there. Big, huge thanks. Huge shout out to Joshua Bailey. He's the one that hooked me up with that transmission and that stall converter. So it came out of a drag car, and it sat for 8 years, I guess, but it was fine. So I mean, it's still probably fine. So we're going to throw it in there and run it. I've already switched over to fittings for my transmission so I can run my transcooler lines. I'm going to have to bend them a little, make them fit. But so yeah, dipstick tube, and I'm going to see if they got this retainer piece right here, that piece of wire that folds across there to hold that on. Either that, or I'm going to run a big hose clamp around everything. And I guess they sell a piece that helps hold that on stronger than the factory bracket. So I'll maybe look and see about that and the dipstick tube all at the same place. So yeah, I'm going to try to get that thing stuffed in there tonight. Another update on the stuff I've been doing. Had to work on the work truck and stuff yesterday, and well, we're back at it again. Okay, I'm still like leery touching it. The mold was dirty, so I got a little bit of discoloration, but I'm thinking a wire wheel will knock that right off there. But that's a really nice, good, solid plate. I mean, it's dirty because we used to dumping water on it trying to cool it off enough to get it out of the mold. But yeah, that's a real nice quality aluminum plate. That's better than the last ones I've been pouring. This one's a little bit thicker. Like I said, the mold was dirty, so it does have, like, that's just a piece of slag that's got on there, a piece out of the mold. So yeah, I'll clean that up, and that'll be another good plate. I got tired of pouring these bars. These bars make really good wheel chocks, unless you stub your toe on them in the middle of the night. And they work better if you if you push them in there a little ways. But yeah, they make good wheel chocks, and aluminum things have been making. Yeah, so that's what we're doing for the burner now, and you know how awesome that is? I can just stuff that in the side of that kiln outside and just turn it on. I'm going to put a switch on these 2 wires right here. I'm going to put a switch on this, and all you got to do is plug it in and give it a fuel source, and that thing's up and burning. I took that out of my furnace. My furnace was acting really funny, and it turned out this thing had like got deformed and melted, and the screws that fell out of it, and the whole pipe that it connects to is just ate away. So that doesn't make me feel good about using that in my furnace anymore, so without redoing that and stuff. And I'm just, the inside of the furnace doesn't look good, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to stuff that. I'm going to baling wire it up and I'm going to stuff that thing into the side of that kiln outside, and by golly, that thing just, you turn on, boom, you got a kiln that's on. You got an aluminum foundry that's on. I highly recommend you guys going out and getting an old oil burner furnace, or one of these old oil burners, and stuffing it in the side of a 5-gallon bucket with a little bit of mortar mix, whatever you guys use around it. Make you a daggone kiln out of these things. These things work great. You turn them on, they just work, and none of this crap gets unhappy being too hot or nothing. It's perfect. I ain't melting the primary tube off the burner anymore because I don't have one. All I got to do is stuff that thing in there and turn it on. I haven't seen anybody on YouTube using these for an aluminum foundry. I have researched and researched and researched. I can't find anybody that's took a burner out of a furnace and stuck it in the side of a kiln, or stuck it in the side of something and made a foundry out of it. And they work flawlessly. I'm telling you what, this thing works perfect, man. You stick that in there, you turn on, and you start melting aluminum. And I mean, that's just it's just too cool. I don't know, I'm a real big fan of the oil burner channel, and I'm always watching his videos and stuff, and he hadn't uploaded in a while, I don't think, but I got really into his videos, started making these burners and stuff and doing aluminum, and that's fun, but that can be scary because them burners are just so angry and they're so loud. That thing you can run in the middle of the night and nobody hears it. I mean, and it uses so much less fuel. It's so much more efficient. There's no smoke or nothing. I mean, I get my oil burner I built burning nice and clean, but it sounds like a jet engine in your backyard. That thing sounds like, I mean, from 20 feet away you can't hear it. I mean, it's just so nice to be able to go out there and turn it on, and it's just on. That's all you have to do is flip a switch, turn on. Not putting a bunch of paper in it, putting rags in it, controlling the air with the variac, controlling the fuel valve, doing this, doing that for a half an hour till you get it up and running the way it's supposed to. Just turn it on. I don't know, I'm excited about that. I'm ready to go melt some more aluminum today. But yeah, so I gotta run to the parts house and get a dipstick tube and get a few other things, probably a new pan gasket and filter while I'm at it and stuff like that. But like I said, huge, big, ginormous shout out to Joshua Bailey for hooking me up with that transmission, because that's going to be awesome. I bet you that truck's going to be at least 1.5 seconds, if not 2 seconds faster, because I can hit all the gears. at the test and tune, this thing went slower at this last test and tune in every single pass than it did at a slower mile an hour than it did the very first time at the racetrack. The very first time at the racetrack, with half as much everything, half the mods I've done to it, half the power, you know. The very first time on the track I had a higher mile an hour with this engine in this truck. So I mean, I know the power's there because it's just burning through transmissions like crazy. So yeah, we're gonna get her all fixed up, see what happens. If the drive shaft doesn't fit, if it's not gonna be long enough, that's the only thing that's gonna stop me from making this happen. So I don't want to have to buy a drive shaft or get a drive shaft extended, or I mean, I might even try to move the engine back farther. There's no way of doing anything else other than that. So we're gonna see what happens, and hopefully this all works. I think 3 inches difference in the drive shaft length I could get 1.5 inches out of each spline, you know, and probably be okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen until I throw it in there and throw that drive shaft in there and see what happens. And yes, my garage is a mess. There is toolboxes and tools and crap. Just stuff everywhere because I had to take everything back out of the van to work on this thing. And I tell you, having all the tools in the van to go racing is really awesome, even if you don't need any of them. But when you get home and you have to work on your race car, you got to take all the tools back out of the van. Yeah, not as much fun. So yeah, there's y'all a nice long boring update video. You guys can like or dislike it, I don't really care. There's people that enjoy my videos, people that don't. I really don't understand why the people that hates my videos keep watching. It's like, you know, if I don't like eggs, I don't eat eggs. Which, by the way, I don't. I think eggs are just slimy and disgusting. But you ain't gonna catch me eating an egg, you know. And it's like people don't like my channel and they dislike my videos and comment stupid stuff, which nobody sees it anymore, so it ain't a big deal. I mean, but you know, why are you on my channel watching my videos if you don't like this kind of stuff? If you're just gonna, like, you know, be mad about it. So you mad, bro? Somebody asked me, you mad, bro, one more time. Can't stand people that can't talk like they got sense. This new generation makes me crazy. So anyway, yep, I got work to do, and it's been raining out because everything's all wet again. So how cool is that? At least it's only wet underneath the front of the truck, not underneath where I'm laying. Not even any transmission fluid under there. Look how clean it is, man. Whew, roadkill couldn't have done that any better. I didn't spill one drop of transmission fluid on the floor. Yep, that's awesome. I guarantee you there's a puddle where that yoke's laying up there, though. It always ends up happening that way. That damn thing just holds on to a little bit of fluid. No, not really. A little bit. Well, y'all enjoy this video, you know, or not, don't matter. I'll see you in the next one. I'll be making videos whether you guys like it or not. Take her easy.